hey, I'm here, I'm Annie, it's really nice to meet you. Here are my thoughts on a bunch of things.
Hello, internet people. I would like to use YouTube for crowdsourcing. Why aren't people doing this? Maybe people are, and then why am I unaware that it's happening? Is the actual question there. The first question I would like to YouTube source is, why is pooping so taboo to talk about? Why do people get so weird talking about pooping? There's literally a children's book explaining that it's something everything. There's literally a children's book that explains that everyone does it. So then why is it after so many years no one talks about it? Like ever. Okay, then you go vegan, you talk to vegans, all vegans talk about, all fruitarians, all, like, pooping is a big topic of conversation. In the general population, people, like, laugh, or they get uncomfortable, or they just don't want to share, or they look at me like I'm extra weird, or whatever it is, and I am confused. I would love to hear your thoughts about why it's so taboo. Here are some of my theories to begin the discussion. I think part of it has to do with a lack of comfort with our bodies, so similarly to why sex is a really taboo thing to talk about, and even food and what we eat people can feel very uncomfortable sharing or discussing it. So I have that theory on why people get uncomfortable talking about pooping, is this, like, not being allowed to share these very basic, primal, everyday body things. So I got sidetracked being like, oh man, I wish I was having sex every day. Not currently. Alas. Everything is impermanent. My other main theory, and yes, this comes with my slight vegan bias about why people don't like to talk about pooping, or why it's so taboo to talk about fecal matter. I'm thinking of synonyms for shitting, pooping, letting go. It is a release. A lot of people who I've talked to who consume a lot of animal products don't poop regularly. Okay, I do my best to avoid shoulds. For the most part, I think shoulds are pretty detrimental. There's a great pooping related don't should all over yourself saying. However, there's some shoulds in life, I think. You know, gets anything you can take to too much of an extreme. So you know, being like, you should sleep. There's sentences where the word should is okay, and for me, and for my knowledge of health and nutrition, one of those is you should poop every day. And some days you could poop multiple times a day. But once a day, you're eating every day. So it makes logical sense if you're putting things in one end on a daily basis, that things are coming out the other end on a daily basis. So perhaps people are uncomfortable to face the discomfort in their body from irregular pooping. These are the things you sit in your car and talk to your phone about. And by you, I mean me. So, I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love any reflections that you have about why we all get so weird. Like, I would love to see people's responses when they like see it in the title, or when they first hear me say poop. Or like, I would like thinking how I respond to myself saying it too. Why? Like, why is this not... it's not that much different than drinking water or eating or these other things that are so much more normalized to talk about. Okay, so then let's have second like YouTube source, or you know, if you're still watching, the other part of this is, what can we do? How can we make this more of an okay thing to talk about? I'm hoping that this video will do something in normalizing discussions about pooping. What else is there to be done? And probably, as I reflect, this generation already talks about it more than our parents and their parents' generation, so perhaps another lesson for me in slowing down and saying it's all happening and changing and these things are all coming into the mainstream more. And one day I have a dream that one day people will talk about pooping on a regular basis because they're pooping on a regular basis. There's so many great metaphors for poop and for letting go of shit and for being full of shit, and everybody poops. Everybody does it. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. Did anyone else, or like any other women out there, can resonate with some period of their life in like middle school or whatever where they're like, girls don't poop, or they were friends with males who said girls don't poop? Are you kidding me? We all started from the same, we all had the same cellular development. We all have a digestive tract. We all have food go in. What an outrageous thought that there are people who have an input and no output. Excuse me? This was a good, for me, this was a good release of the poopin' conundrum feeling. So thank you for watching it, and thank you for being you. Peace.